the next Legend of Zelda game. Now, this is something that would be truly special, but imagine if you were able to pick the direction that the story takes you. Like, you know those games where you do a certain detail in the game and the end of the story actually changes? Imagine a Legend of Zelda game like that. I feel like that would actually be a really fantastic idea. Because when you take those two ideas, it makes for like a perfect game because you're like, should I go and save this person getting attacked by a bokoblin? Or do I just go on my merry way because I'm just not that type of hero? So like how this would work, it would be more like Link either turns good or he gets possessed by the darkness, alright? So imagine this. The next Legend of Zelda game. We start off, we're Link, after the events of Tears of the Kingdom, you're a whole new Link, and oh no, there's some type of dark goddess in the air or something. And it's like going through every move that you do. So you can either start the game off and immediately go and help people, or you can start the game off and immediately turn to the dark side and become Dark Link by the end of the story. As the story progresses, as the tasks that you have to do, either you just decide, I'm going to do every single task and I'm going to be a very good citizen and I'm just going to go and save Hyrule. Or you're going to be, well, I'm going to join the army of the bokoblins and you're going to be Dark Link. And this is pretty much how the story could go. Because I think that games that actually implement the feature of the player, every single decision that you make in the game impacts the actual story, is just fun. Because now, let's just say that Princess Zelda, she hasn't been kidnapped by Ganon yet, or she hasn't been set off to another quest yet. And she's asking you, hey, can you help me go to the Gerudo Desert because I need to go and talk to my friends and I need to find a secret piece of jewelry. And you're like, either yes, I'll do that, or no, I actually have to do something else. But anyways, if you click yes and then decide to go and then steal the jewelry, you find the jewelry and then you just take it and you're just on your way, that will be considered as Dark Link activity. Like, you'll become Dark Link. Now, this is probably not the best representation of how this would work, but I'm trying here. I think that it would be a pretty interesting idea how this would work. Because what if, like the start of the game, let's just say you're playing The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you're doing pretty good, but you decide to do a challenge. You decided to not save any of the champions, go straight to Hyrule Castle. Now I know some of us, probably a lot of us, has probably done this once upon a time, but let's just say the story changes a little bit. Ganon could just be all like, oh, I saved, or I successfully have defeated the champions. You're not going to be doing anything to defeat them. Wahahaha. And, you know, this could change up the story, how it ends. By the time you already go straight to Ganon, the story could change a bit. Like, maybe all of the different champions and stuff. The game doesn't actually end there. You can go and fight him, but he will go and disappear into a rift or something, and then it'll be your job to go and save all the champions, so then you can get a special key and put all of their different energies together and make one beautiful sword. That could be one alternative ending. You could follow the story the main way, where the game actually points you to go, so save all the champions, do all that stuff, and then go fight Ganon, so there's going to be none of that. You gotta go and reorganize all of the people to get the super special sword that you can open up a rift in the sky. Or, whatever direction you do take, if you decide to go that way and then go the next way, it's more like, oh, you came to save me first, thank you so much. Like, if you went to go and save Mifa first, maybe she would be more likely to give you something special or something that would help you in your adventure. You know what I mean? Like, let's just say that this was actually the way how it goes. Or, if you went straight to the Master Sword with nothing else, and you finally get to learn a bit of your memories, you answer a couple questions, and he's like, oh, so you are the real Link. Alright, you gotta get this Master Sword, but the Master Sword is not gonna be super, super powerful until you get this specific amount of hearts. I think that this is a pretty interesting idea because then it lets you play the game multiple times, so then you can experience every single different stories. And let's just say that you didn't search up anything on the internet, you didn't search up any videos about the game. Then you would have a fresh experience, and all you would really need to do is, replay the game, and then you would have a different experience. You wouldn't know anything that happened, and this would be a pretty interesting idea. I love the way that games do this. They allow your decision to impact the story. And this is really amazing. Like, there's some games that whatever decision you make, you can either choose to skip the tutorial, but then the people are going to be like, oh, you lost, so you should have never skipped the tutorial. Like, the dialogue options change, the different places or whatever changes, and also those games that you have to save one person or the other person, but you can't have both. Or you can sometimes have both, but you have to do a whole separate side quest to have both, which is really, really cool. I love it because, it's something that's really, really special. It's really special to be able to choose which way the story takes you. You know what I mean? We've all been there. We all been there that we probably at least played one game like that. That if you pick this specific option, you can't go back. You gotta keep going for it, and there you go. Now, that would be an absolutely amazing idea. What about one game that allows you to finally touch the Triforce? Usually in most Zelda games, you're not able to touch the Triforce, but imagine if we had this dialogue option inside of the game. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be The Legend of Zelda, but in this kind of game, I would just say, yes, The Legend of Zelda. You finally get to touch the Triforce after a long, long time, all these years, and now you can either play a little minigame, or it depends what you picked throughout the story. If you decide to be a full, very, very nice person, you might have the ability to conquer the entire Triforce. If you decide to be a selfish person and just go out and do whatever you wanted to do, not necessarily what anyone else wanted to do, you would most likely fall into the Triforce of Power. Now, if you decide to just explore and who cares, potentially the Triforce of Courage, because you went exploring and maybe help some dragons out. But whatever the case may be, you would have a determination, when you go and save different people throughout the lands, and then you finally reach the Triforce because you gotta go and save the world. Ganon is attacking, and you finally get the Triforce. Either you get all of them, so then you have a bigger advantage against Ganon. You just have the power, you have more attack power, you have wisdom, maybe more defense, and courage would be more charge for your sword. I don't know. Pretty interesting idea. I hope to see something like that in the future. Some kind of Legend of Zelda game where you're able to pick the direction that the story goes. Because this is a really fantastic way to play the game. Because it's just like, hey, this is my decision. I decided to not go and save these Kokoriko people. So this is what happened. Like, they turned bad. Or they just kind of disappeared into a big wormhole. And now you have to go and get the Sword of Light. Whatever, what do you think about this? Do you think that this is a pretty interesting idea? Or do you think, well, it would be cool, but I feel like that takes a lot of development time to do, which is probably very, very true. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Consider to hit the subscribe button, the like button. It's completely up to you. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you have a fantastic day and see you in the next one.